It will be my objective to phase out Social Security,
Nice.
to pull it up by the roots and get rid of it. Here, people who advise me politically always tell me that's dangerous, and I tell them, in that case, it's not worth my running. That's why I'm doing this, to get rid of that. Medicare and Medicaid are of the same sort and need to be pulled up.
Republicans have always lied about their true purpose, which explains why this cast of Einsteins stand before Trump singing that annoying Lee Greenwood song about how great we are.
God bless the USA.
No, MAGA doesn't care about you. And now, with direct access to power through Congress and the courts, Republicans will finally tell you the truth.
Here's the good news. I'm very rich. I don't need anybody's money. It's nice. I'm really rich.
I'm the most successful person ever to run.
Fortunately, I'm very rich. So I have a total net worth, and now with the increase, it'll be well over $10 billion. We need every voter. I don't care about you. I just want your vote. I don't care.
Republican Party is going to spend the next 2 years talking about cuts, cutting Social Security and Medicare, calling them entitlements, except that people have paid into Social Security their entire lives. It's their money. But Republicans don't care.
So much talk about the work that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are doing with regards to Doge, but the problem is that when they make these recommendations, eventually it's going to be up to Congress. It's going to be up to you and your colleagues to pass these cuts. I know that you're having those conversations already. Where is the rubber going to meet the road?
Well, that's a very interesting question. You know, they were here the last week speaking to members of Congress, and really they weren't speaking as much as they were listening, getting some from all sides of our conference, some ideas to cut our budget. We all agree that this is an unsustainable area that we're in right now, almost $36 trillion in debt, and we are spending more on the interest on our debt than we're going to spend on the National Defense Authorization Act this year, over $1 trillion. And so we've got to right the ship, and it's going to mean cuts. It's going to mean cuts to the 24% of the discretionary spending that we have. And it's also going to mean looking long term at the front end of some programs like Social Security and Medicare, not taking anyone off of what they paid into so far. But there is some waste, abuse, and fraud in Medicare that we can take those numbers back and add to our general coffers.
So let's talk about Medicare. It's not some 64-year-old trying to slide under the radar to get benefits early. Medicare fraud's about $100 billion annually, and it's committed by healthcare providers, including doctors, clinics, and medical facilities, who often submit bills for unnecessary services or bill for services that were never provided to patients. So Republicans want to cut services to those who need it instead of prosecuting large and medium-sized health providers who are doing the theft. And as much as I disagree with acts of violence against these huge healthcare companies and their executives, the national reaction reveals a strong distrust that they'll ever change on their own.
And on the front end on Social Security, I think there's a way when people are living longer, they're retiring later, that on the front end we can move that retirement age back a little bit.
Okay, there's two basic problems here, and in a way they're the same. Rich people don't pay their share in taxes, not even close. Look at Musk, Bezos, Gates, and the rest of the billionaire wealthiest families in the U.S.
I'm very rich.
Billionaires in the U.S. pay a smaller tax rate than most teachers. So, thanks to a tax code that favors income from wealth over income from work and a slew of tax avoidance strategies, the rich end up paying a smaller percentage of their income to the federal government than most working families.
I'm very rich.
For example, U.S. billionaires are 46% richer than they were in 2020. That's about $1.6 trillion richer. And according to a 2021 White House study, the wealthiest 400 billionaire families in the U.S. paid an average federal individual tax rate of 8.2%. You, the average American taxpayer, paid about 13%.
I'm very rich.
And over a 4-year period from 2014 to 2018, the top 25 richest Americans paid $13.6 billion in taxes, a true tax rate of only 3.4% on $400 billion in income. That's not paying your fair share. Instead of rewarding wealth over work, wouldn't it be better to have a tax system that ensures billionaires play by the same set of rules as the rest of us? So let's ask the Republican Party.
Oh, hell no!
It's simple. Billionaires and corporations pay politicians to create laws that protect them and then call for cuts to people who are anything but rich.
The gap between the very richest and the rest of us is getting bigger. Why? A common belief is that it's good for us all if a small group of people earn an enormous amount of money. The theory is that their wealth trickles down to the rest of us. But this is a myth. In reality, money is sucked up from all of us into the pockets of a very small group of people. How does this happen? One reason is the way that money is created. Right now, almost all of the money in our economy is created by banks when they make loans. Now, most people assume that when banks make loans, they're lending out someone else's savings. But they're not. Instead, when somebody takes out a loan, banks create new money electronically by typing numbers into their account. 97% of all the money in our economy is created in this way, as people take out loans from banks. The more loans people take, the more debt there is, and the more money there is. The shocking fact is, if nobody went into debt, there would be almost no money in the economy. Our economy depends on the electronic money created by banks. But because the money is created when people borrow, someone, somewhere, has to pay interest on every pound created. In effect, we are renting the money we need to run our economy from the banks.
So yeah, macroeconomics is confusing. The former head of the Fed, Janet Yellen, said Trump had no knowledge at all of the many wheels turning. And that's true of most people.
Even I say to myself, you're a frickin' genius.
But when it's a president, that comes at a price. Trump and Republicans lie that it's spending on institutions like Social Security and Medicare that's causing us to be trillions of dollars in debt.
I'm very rich.
But that's a lie, and it's simple. The rich don't pay close to what they should, instead using their money to bribe elected officials to protect their trillions.
And on the front end on Social Security, I think there's a way when people are living longer, they're retiring later, that on the front end we can move that retirement age back a little bit.
And now, near the end of their lives, Trump wants to cut what seniors receive after paying into Social Security every paycheck for close to 50 years. That's fucked up and cowardly. But count on this, though. All of these members of Congress will continue to receive their pensions and lobbying jobs when they retire or are voted out. And their rich backers will pay less in taxes because Congress has protected their income through changes in estate taxes, capital gains protection, and huge discretionary tax deductions unavailable to the average guy. The rich won't feel the pain of having to sell their home they've lived in all their lives just to afford the inflationary costs brought on by the monopolistic corporations protected by these Republicans.
We can move that retirement age back a little bit.
Look at this. According to the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, at least 55 of the largest corporations in America paid no federal corporate income taxes in 2022. That's hundreds of billions of dollars that regular people must pay. And fraud in government? The Department of Defense budget in fiscal year 2022 was $715 billion. Yeah, that's billion. That's more than the next 10 countries combined, and almost 40% of defense spending worldwide. The next closest is China at $292 billion.
China.
Repeat after me. There is no trickle down. There is no path to fortune unless you were born into the club. The next Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, that's dead. The underclass in America are being taught that if you can't dunk a ball for millions, then you'll have to get rich gambling from your Barcalanger with a betting app that further drives you into debt. Or buy a lottery ticket, which even with its infinitesimally small chance of winning millions, at least puts the odds on the ticket.
Everybody's laughing at America.
70 million people, most of whom benefit from social services of some sort, voted for a guy they thought would invite them to Mar-a-Lago.
Build that wall. Build that wall.
Trump is finally building that wall he promised, but this one is between Americans and their future.
I love the poorly educated.
Damn right.
This is not a normal election.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Whether the women like it or not.
Suck my fat one.
Who's with me?
Trust me.
Shut the fuck up, Darren.
Who's with me? Oh yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.